To educate, encourage, enable the power. We stand for integrity, honesty, self-reliance, self-defense, and most importantly, no compromise on our foundational principles. This is America's Voice Now.
Find America's Voice Now on Facebook and at americasvoicenow.org. Here's Michael Evans.
Good morning, America. My name is Michael Evans. I'll be your host this morning, and you're listening to America's Voice Now. You know, we're going to talk about the immigration debacle this morning because the slugs up on Capitol Hill can't seem to get their act together about the fact that immigration in its present form, that which is passed by the Senate, is perhaps one of the worst bills that we could identify and choose as a representation of American legislative initiatives. The current, or the Senate bill as it sits today, has so many loopholes, so many bad clauses, so many areas where it completely violates the rule of law, and so much betrayal for those immigrants who have already come here and did it right and did it legally, and put so much cost of all of future immigration on the backs of Americans that it cannot stand. The drain on our resources as a nation will be so unbelievably high that it will make the Obamacare Health Care Act look like pocket change loss. The House is now reviewing their options. And I got to tell you, I listened to Representative, I can't think of her name, the other day on Glenn Beck's program, in which she was talking about the importance of making sure that the House doesn't pass a bill that then goes to committee and gets merged with the Senate bill and then comes back out for an immediate vote when no one's had a chance to read it. No one knows what's really in it. We did this with the Health Care Act, and we should have learned our lesson, but we're apparently not really ready to accept or acknowledge that yet. What's important here is that, and by the way, this was her contention as well, and I've been saying this all along. Our statement, our mantra as citizens needs to be to the House representatives, and forget the Senate that's already passed through there. There's nothing you can do right now with the Senate. So all of our focus needs to be on the House. And it needs to be on the House in a way where we literally melt the switchboard at the House representatives' offices. We need to make it clear to them that no bill is acceptable. I heard a bunch of people talking about this on talking head programs, and I monitor what's going on in the world, in not only conservative but also liberal programming, so that we can hear what people are thinking. On the Democratic side, they're saying if the Republicans don't pass this, they'll never have a chance at the White House again. Now, come on, man. Are you going to really tell me that you're going to fall for a Democrat telling you in a threatening manner that if you don't pass our bill, you don't have a chance at the White House ever again? You don't have the American public, much less the conservative viewpoint at heart. So why should we listen to anything you say? Especially an empty threat like that. And that's what it is. It's a threat. I mean, if you believe Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi really, truly care whether or not the Republicans ever get a seat at the White House again, you got to be daft. And so this whole thing about hearing the progressive liberal and frankly communistic and socialistic Marxist who stand up in the House or Congress, in Senate or House, and say, if you don't pass this bill, you're never going to have another shot at the White House. That's a last-ditch threat to get you to do what they want you to do. If you fall for that, House members, we've got nothing further to talk about. You belong being ripped out of office and tossed out permanently. Boehner is about to pull another boner. And I got to tell you, John, if you allow this kind of thing to go down while you are Speaker of the House, I want you charged criminally for malfeasance in office. I've had enough of your deal making. I don't know what secrets they got on you. I don't know what kind of imagery they've got that they're holding over your head and threatening you with. But I can tell you this. If you allow a vote to go down in the House on the immigration bill in any way, shape, or form, you're done. And America, you better make it happen. This guy is a weak, knock-kneed, kowtowing chicken. And he is bending in the will of the liberal, progressive, Marxist ideology for whatever reason, whether they've offered him a seat at the table, whether they've offered him money, or whether they've offered him to keep his skeletons in the closet. Something's going on with this man, and he is acting completely diametrically opposed to the will of America and the will of the Republicans and the will of the conservative viewpoint of America. There's something desperately wrong, and no one can deny it any longer. Boehner has got to go. But I'm going to tell you a little secret here. They know that if they don't get this immigration bill passed before the end of this year, they know it's dead for good until after the 2014 elections. Because in an election year, they don't have a chance in hell of trying to get this egg fried within a pan. So here's what we need to do as conservatives and as patriots. And I don't even like that word conservative. I think we should toss the word conservative and start calling ourselves what we are, patriots. Here's what patriots need to be doing. Patriots need to be adamant, stalwart, and hardcore. No compromise, no bill. No bill whatsoever. You're not going to put up some bill and vote for it. You're not going to pass anything. Don't even start discussing it. Here's the rules. No immigration bill and no votes until the border is verifiably sealed and all illegals have registered. That's it. We're not asking, first of all, we paid for this fence back in 2006. Where is it? I want my fence or I want my money back. We paid for it, people, back in 2006. It doesn't exist. Where is the money? Or where is the fence? It's got to be one or the other. And I don't really care whether it takes a year or 2 years for us to seal and lock that border down, and the immigrants are just going to have to wait. Why do we have to bend to their demand for legality after an illegal entry in a hurried up and do it now manner? Since when does the criminal dictate when he gets amnesty? Huh? I'm asking you. Since when does the bank robber demand that the judge give him amnesty and demand it now? How dare they and how dare you? You don't have the right to demand that we give you amnesty and allow all your fellow family members and everybody else in. You don't have the right that we demand that you have permission to vote or get health care or food stamps. You're a lawbreaker and a violator. In fact, you're even more than that. You're an invader. And since when does America kowtow to invaders? We don't negotiate with terrorists? Isn't this terrorism? Economic terrorism? Political electorate terrorism? It's nothing less. And frankly, I'm tired of it. So here's the mantra for the House. You will not pass any bill until you have given us the fence we've paid for or given us our money back. And moreover, you will not pass any bill that deals with immigration until this border is verifiably sealed and every illegal in the nation has been given an opportunity to step forward and register themselves with us. They will be given amnesty only for the period that it takes from the day they register until the day that after the registration and after the borders are verifiably sealed, we can come up with an appropriate, comprehensive immigration plan to integrate them into this society. And if you don't like that, then pack your crap and get out. Because you don't belong here. You didn't enter the proper way. You violated our borders. You're a lawbreaker. You're an invader. And we don't owe you one damn thing. Now, I want to see the phone lines nationwide melt down to the House. Every representative in the House should be getting one phone call a day from every American who gives a damn about this nation, from every patriot, not conservative, every patriot. I don't care what party you're with. I don't care where you stand religiously. I don't care what sex you are. I don't care what ethnic nationality you hail from. I think every single patriotic American, irrespective of whatever other category you land under, needs to be on the phone every single day. It should be the phone call you make when you wake up, and it should be done daily. No immigration until the border is verifiably sealed, all illegals have registered, and we have confirmed the border is locked down. And we want our fence or we want our money. You can make it that short and sweet, people. But I'm going to tell you this. If this works the other way, here's what's going to happen. The House is going to pass a bill that's going to look like, oh my goodness, these guys are serious. They've got all these limitations in there. They're cutting out all of this stuff in there about free this and free that. They're ending the amnesty. That's the kind of stuff we want, boy. Those Republicans, they're really fighting for us. Then it goes to committee and the treason really begins. That's where a small oligarchy of party heads from both sides sit down and sell you down the river for 30 pieces of silver. They're going to sell our birthright for a bowl of soup. I'm telling you, that's what will happen. When this bill comes out of committee, it won't look like the Senate bill and it won't look like the House bill. But it will be immediately pushed on us. And I'm going to tell you something. Obama has amnesty in this bill as an absolute requirement. And so no matter what else happens, you can bet that bill's going to come out with that. In America, if you let that happen, we got nothing further to discuss. Then you will have the government which you deserve. You will have a population who will swarm over our nation like locusts. They will be embedded in this system in ways that you won't be able to pry them out with a crowbar and white horses. They're already there. But you're going to give them the anchor lock they need to never be leveraged out. And what you will be doing is you will be leveraging yourself and our nation out. You will destroy our culture, you will shred the fabric of this nation, and you will utterly and irretrievably change the United States of America. You will marginalize yourself, and you will pay for every last ounce of it. See, the way this works is real simple. They want you to not know what's happening. That committee hearing that will reconcile the bills. Let's understand how it works. The Senate passes a bill, the House passes a bill. The two don't mesh, so it goes to a reconciliation committee. They tear it apart, put it all back together again, say, okay, the Republicans agree to this, the Democrats agree to that, the House agrees to this, the Senate agrees to this. We've now come up with a new reconciled bill. And then they're going to shove it in front of everyone for a rapid alacrity vote. And what that means is, just like the health care bill, nobody's going to read it. Nobody's going to have time to dissent on it. There's going to be no opportunity for the American people to speak their piece, and they're going to ram it through. And we're going to get left with the results. And with people like Boehner in place and the traitors that we now have in office, you can bet. I will bet you everything I own, this thing will come out and be a debacle and a disaster for America. So, it's time to put our shields on. It is time for us to don and bear the armor of patriotism. It is time for America to stand up, put on its armor, and take it to the fight. This will be the most important act of Congress in the next 2 years. Did you hear what I just said? This will be the most important thing that will go through Congress in the next 2 years. And I'm going to tell you something else. This will be the thing that affects this nation for the next 100. Just like the Federal Reserve Act, no one dreamt in 1913 that it would have the effect it has 100 years later on this nation. This immigration bill will completely and utterly devastate this nation. Nothing less than a 100% refusal to assent and blockage of any passage of any bill until these borders are sealed is acceptable. Your mantra is this: no immigration bill vote, no immigration bill until the borders are verifiably sealed and all illegals have registered. Verifiably, not by Janet Napolitano, not even by Congress. I want those borders verifiably sealed by the boots on the ground and an independent national ombudsman who represents America and the patriots in this country. Not some will-o'-the-wisp, bend-in-the-wind politician. Because that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we've gotten here. We allow our representatives, who can hardly be called as such, dictate the rules to us. And they say, we got your back, don't worry, we're taking good care of you. I don't want you to take care of me. I don't need taken care of. What I need is you to do your job and properly represent this country, this nation, and these people. I need you to do your sworn duty. I need you to take your oath seriously. I need you to protect America first and foremost. And stop worrying about your reelection. Stop worrying about what seat you're going to get at the table after the phoenix of tyranny rises from the ashes of liberty. That's what you're all about. Whatever you've been promised, we'll promise you better. We'll promise you that you're never going to have to take that seat again. Because I'm going to tell you something. When this thing melts down, and it will melt down, It's going to be like musical chairs. Everybody's going to be in motion. All of these politicians are going to be running around, circling around, trying to make sure that somebody gets a chair. America, the time for us to believe that these people truly represent us is over. I hear people all the time telling me, well, you know, the Congress is corrupt. Those senators and those congressmen, they don't represent us. Well, what about your representative? Oh, he's a good guy. Oh, she's good. Really? Come on, wake up. Wake up. None of them are any good. They've sold themselves down the river to get to the seat they're in. Who are you kidding? Oh no, mine is a heart as pure as the driven snow. Really? Go look them up on opensecrets.org and see what kind of PAC money they've gotten. See what kind of corporate dollars have been poured into their campaigns. See who's representing them. And see who they really owe their allegiance to. Then tell me your representative is different from the other 434. You're a damn fool if you believe that. America, you're either going to come to the reality of where we stand right now, or our nation is going to slip into tyranny, and you're going to be sitting there in stunned silence while they're pointing a gun at you and your family. This immigration bill is the worst thing that could happen to the United States of America. I'm going to say since Obamacare, but before that, the Federal Reserve Act. Well, let me throw the NDAA in there too. You know what? I could sit here and give you a list of treasonous betrayals by our House of Representatives and our Senate from now until noon. And we're not even talking yet about what's going on with the president and all of the stuff that he's accomplished through executive orders. Your mantra is simple. No immigration bill. No vote until the borders are verifiably sealed and every illegal has been given an opportunity, 6-month, 12-month moratorium window where they must register. After that, we can discuss what to do with them. And after that, if they haven't registered and we find them, I don't care whether you've been here for 3 months or 30 years, you're out. If you didn't take the time to register and step up, then we know what your intentions will be going forward. America, it's our country. You're listening to America's Voice Now. My name is Michael Evans. We're going to return in a few minutes with our second segment, and we're going to be talking about Egypt and what's going on with us still sending them jets when we don't even know who's in power.
We are the Ozarks' best news talk, KBMV Birch Tree.
Having difficulty with your computer? Do you think it has a mind of its own? Well, don't be alarmed. This happens to everyone at some point in time. Worry no more. Computer Dave and Kyle can help you out with PC Geeks, a weekly show right here on 107.1 The Point. Tune in Thursdays at 1 o'clock to ask computer-related questions and listen to the web topic of the week. That's PC Geeks here on 107.1 The Point.
Fox News Radio. I'm Chris Foster. The judge at the George Zimmerman murder trial is considering whether the jury can be told to consider lesser charges, manslaughter, say, or aggravated assault instead of murder. Closing arguments are expected this afternoon. The defense resting with Zimmerman's decision yesterday.
After consulting with counsel not to testify, Your Honor.
Police and city officials in Sanford, Florida say they're preparing for any civil unrest after the verdict. 30 people missing since a train crash and explosion in Quebec, Canada Saturday are now all presumed dead, in addition to the 20 bodies found. That train exploded near a bar full of customers. The CEO of the train company blames the engineer.
Very questionable whether the handbrakes were properly applied on this train. As a matter of fact, I'll say they weren't, or else we wouldn't have had this incident.
Ed Burkhart was jeered in town yesterday. Fox News, we report, you decide.
There's one man on this earth who really, truly gets it.
I was never into this democracy project. I'm into the American project, just like the founders. The American project is this. We take steps overseas, military steps, that are intended to preserve America, preserve our allies, and in some cases that are extraordinary, really touch the soul of the nation. Yes, humanitarian steps too.
Weeknights from 5 till 8, Mark Levin on the Ozarks Best News Talk 107.1.
Weather sponsorships are now available on News Talk 107.1 The Point. Get more information, email info@diamondmediaradio.com for complete details.
From the Point Weather Center for this morning, a clear sky, mostly sunny through the day, high 88. Mainly clear tonight, low 62. Tomorrow's going to be sunny, high 86. Mainly clear tomorrow night, low 60. Sunny skies Saturday, high 88. I'm staff meteorologist Jim Rinaldi, and for more information, visit my1071thepoint.com.
Out of 365 days a year, we celebrate holidays, anniversaries, and other important days. But there is one day you look forward to, your birthday. I wanna wish you a happy birthday. Ryan's Steakhouse of West Plains is proud to bring you the Birthday Club weekday mornings with Cooper & Company. Our daily winner receives one buffet and a drink to Ryan. Just call your birthdays in weekday mornings with Cooper & Company at 255-0427. Brought to you by Ryan's and the Ozarks Best News Talk.
And happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Cha.
All right. I got to tell you, folks, any representative in the House who will not stand and declare immigration dead until the border is sealed and all immigrants have registered, all illegals have registered, had better watch out. I'm not going to just tell the illegals to pack your bags and get out. I'm going to tell you in Congress, you pack your bags and get out, because America's coming for you. 2014's around the corner. If you betray us now, we're coming for you. Every patriot in America ought to be prepared to stand up and literally take this war to them. All right. I want you to make sure that you get a hold of Greg over at blackopsschoolofcombat.com. You can reach him at 255-1612. Get your concealed carry license and or legal requirements out of the way, and make sure that you get yourself your concealed carry. It's a statement that you believe in the Second Amendment, and it's practically applicable in our lives today. So make sure that you are doing that and doing it ASAP. Also, and you can get a hold of him at blackopsschoolofcombat.com, or you can reach him via phone at 417-255-1612. SpringCreekBeef.com. Make sure that you get a chance to see that website. They have a perfect offering of 100% grass-fed beef, and they are an outstanding group that will be able to ship beef 100 across the United States. It's 100% grass-fed, no hormones, no antibiotics, no grain. Excellent and tasty, and you'll be very, very impressed with the quality of their meat. Our friend over at Chantilly's Artisan Bakery, my friend Mary, is best damn bakery in 100 miles. You can get to her at 255-2253, or also at number 2 Evans Arcade on the Square in West Plains. Our friends over at the Battery Station at 257-7799, 303 Washington Avenue in West Plains. Kevin has virtually every battery under cover that is known to man. Tons of flashlights, outdoor gear, survival gear, backup gear. Make sure that you get a chance to see Kevin over at the Battery Station. 257-7799 or thebatterystation.com. West Plains Pawn, you can see Kenny over there at 256-3000 off of Highway 160. And West Plains Pawn has about 400 guns under cover at any given moment, and they've got rifles, pistols, shotguns, archery products. They've got accessories for firearms. Make sure that you get a chance to see them and sample their products. Ozark Mountain Self-Reliance has a brand new website, Ozark Survival Gear, and it's ozarksurvivalgear.com, or you can call them at 870-492-4030. They have a location down in Mountain Home, physical retail, but they also ship nationwide through ozarksurvivalgear.com. Our friends over at Pizza Hut in Porter Wagoner Boulevard, Tuesdays is family night. Kids under 12 eat free. And during the day, they have an outstanding lunch special where they have salad bar and pasta bar and pizza bar. So make sure that you get a chance to get out there and see our friends over at Pizza Hut. Stone Construction. Bill Stone does an outstanding job, whether it's farm or home, whether it's commercial or residential. Doesn't make any difference, even if it's industrial. Get a hold of Bill Stone for any kind of construction requirements or needs that you have. You can reach him at 2930116, and make sure that you also see our friend over at Wits End Classic Barbershop. He sponsors our phone lines. And make sure that you give a chance for Jason to give you a haircut. He does an outstanding job. Cuts my hair, in fact. And shaving a haircut, $10. Or, well, I'm sorry, haircut's $10. I don't know what the shave is. But he doesn't do it with a straight razor, and that's kind of unusual these days. Go ahead. We're going to take a couple of quick calls, and then I'm going to launch into this thing about what's going on with Egypt, because that is an absolute disaster. Go ahead, caller. Welcome to the show.
Hey, morning, Mike. It's Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, a lot of folks have gardens in now. Hopefully they're going to have a good year, and they're going to need to store that food somehow.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, the OSLU classes this weekend are on canning, how to can.
Okay.
Free classes Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is in Willow Springs at the Ferguson Building, 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Sunday is in West Plains at the Seventh-day Adventist Church, 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock.
Okay.
All they need to bring is a pencil, a piece of paper, and an open mind.
There you go. And we'll post that up on Facebook, too.
Great.
Thanks so much, Mike.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Go ahead. Okay. I don't know. I think I hit the wrong button, caller. I apologize. Just give a call back. Okay. I want to talk about this issue with Egypt, because they are continuing this plan of shipping F-16 jets and delivering them to Egypt, despite the unrest that's going on over there. And I got to tell you, I think that's a bad idea. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I don't know who messed that up, me or you.
That was me.
Going back to your previous segment, you were discussing the immigration bill.
Yeah.
I would like for a moment just to forget the rightness or the wrongness of the bill and consider the fact that, just like Obamacare, they're trying to rush through a bill without adequate debate, without vetting the articles of the bill for constitutionality,
without public input.
Yeah, without public input. And you would think that at the very least they have an obligation to present a bill that is legal, can stand up to examination. Yeah, I mean, if you gave this to a fifth grader and presented it to his teacher, she'd mark an X on it and send it back and tell you to do it over.
Right.
And with our leaders in this nation, we should at least expect that as a minimum. These are supposed to be the leaders of our country who are responsible and have an obligation to support the laws of this land.
Well, unfortunately,
on that basis.
Leadership entails a level of responsibility, fiduciary responsibility to the people you lead. Unfortunately, these people have become tyrannical in their nature, and they no longer represent us. It's painfully clear. I'm not saying that there's not, a couple of good men and women up there, yes, but I got to tell you, the number that there are so nominal that they're clearly outweighed and outgunned by the folks who are, for all intents and purposes, operating for their own personal best interest, regardless of whether that's financial, whether that's political, or whether that is protective for some secret the NSA's got on them and has, dangled under their nose as a threat. The simple truth is this: America is no longer represented by the government in Washington. And frankly, most states aren't represented by their state-elected representatives either. In fact, Colorado right now is talking about seceding to a new state, the 51st state called Northern Colorado, because they cannot properly get represented in their own state house. So, ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake about it. This is not about just the federal government. This is state and it's federal. And in many cases, local. So, you know, it is time for American patriots, and I'm not going to use, anytime I make the mistake of using the word conservative, I want you to think in your mind that means patriot. Because the truth is, when we've all been invested in that word, there is no conservative in Congress today. They don't exist. And there are only out here in the street, those of us who are the electorate, we are patriots, no longer conservatives, because they've taken the word conservative and manipulated it to the point where it has no more value or meaning to us. Because when you hear the word conservative, you think, oh, okay, I should support that person. Let me tell you something. John Boehner calls himself a conservative. Now, you know, if you want to call that conservative, boy, you and I got some, you know, we're passing ships not even in the same ocean. So, anyway, that's my theory on it, and I appreciate your comment. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, have a great day, folks. You know, look, let's just stop pretending there's not an elephant in the room standing on our feet. I mean, come on. You know, this is insane. Egypt is going to go ahead and get F-16s from us. What the hell are they thinking? Washington is going to send over 4 F-16 fighter jets in the next couple of weeks. And we don't even know who's going to get them. Well, there's a deal on the table that we have to honor. You don't honor a deal when you don't know who you're giving the weaponry to, you idiots. Or is this just Fast and Furious writ large? And approved by Congress now. You know, the Muslim Brotherhood is who's going to get these jets. Now, if you are stupid enough to hand them 4 F-16 fighter jets, Congress, you should be removed entirely and replaced with true patriots. I'm not saying that at some point in time you cannot resume the deal. I am going to say that until this unrest is resolved, you don't continue with a deal like that. Where do you get off thinking it's okay to allow 4 F-16 fighter jets to go into the hands of we don't even know whom? Is it going to go to the military? Is the Muslim Brotherhood going to get it? Are the Al-Qaeda operatives going to get it? Are we arming Al-Qaeda with F-16s? We don't even know. And so the appropriate, the reasonable, the politically correct, to use your own diatribe, thing to do is to wait. Just wait. I'm tired of Obama telling us everything's got to be done in a hurry. Practically, this is foolish. Legally, this is questionable and stupid. Politically, this is dangerous. America's best interest will be served by waiting for a resolution over there. Anything beyond or anything less than that is beyond incompetence and immediately jumps into the level of malfeasance on the part of government. Yes, you heard me say it. If they do anything other than wait, malfeasance is at work. And malfeasance is grounds for removal from office. High crimes, misdemeanors. Malfeasance is one of them. We have no business giving weapons of mass destruction over, just handing them over there when we don't know who's ultimately going to end up with the keys to the jet and the armaments that go with it. It's unconscionable for anyone to think that that's an appropriate solution. It's foolish and dangerous. It creates even greater instability. You may well find out at the end we've armed the wrong people. You know, this thing could still turn around. This could be a civil war, and we're arming, we don't even know which side. And frankly, we don't belong on either side. We should allow the Egyptians to resolve this themselves in their way. Egypt has been in chaos literally for thousands of years. And suddenly 237-year-old America steps in and says, we know how to resolve all your problems. Here's a few jets and a couple of million rounds. What the hell are you talking about? Stay out of their business. We don't belong in it. It's not our place. And we surely don't belong funding or arming anyone. We just went through this in Afghanistan. We just went through this in Iraq. We have no business in either of those places. We never had any business in either of those places. It has literally cost us tens of thousands of American lives, untold treasure, and we've accomplished nothing. What we've done is we've enriched the military-industrial complex and the cronies and the pals and the feeders who survive on government dole. And we've raped and bankrupted the American populace to accomplish zero. The only thing that we've actually accomplished is we've walked into to the woods. We've dragged the entire nation with us, handcuffed them to the tree, and then smacked the hornet's nest with a big stick. We can't even get away. You know, it's not our place. Stop trying to manage the world. You're not even trying to police it now. Now this has become imperialism, and that's a big difference. It's one thing to be a peacekeeper. It's another thing to be an imperialistic dictator and tell everyone what they're going to get and do and how they're going to do it. And that is what America has become in terms of our foreign policy. John Kerry is a mouthpiece for Obama. Obama's loyalty is to the Muslim Brotherhood. We know that. Why, I can't conceive of. Because his allegiance to the Muslim Brotherhood is anathema to the principles of liberty and freedom. Anathema as in repugnant. Anathema as in incomprehensibly, unequivocally against. You see, the U.S. interests aren't being served by this. U.S. interests will be served by a deep-seated pause. Washington's going to deliver 4 F-16 fighter jets in the next couple of weeks, and we don't know who's going to get the keys. This is already part of the bigger order of 20 planes, 8 of which we've already delivered. 8 more are supposed to go before the end of this year. Not to mention 4 that are going to go in the next couple of weeks. And we have absolutely no idea who's going to get them. Do you realize that 20 F-16 fighter jets is bigger than the entire military of some countries? Do you know what you could do with 20 F-16 fighter jets? Do you know what an imperialistic dictator or a theocratic dictatorship could do with 20 F-16s to their own people? But it's okay. Your friends over there at McDonnell Douglas, they're getting plenty of money, aren't they? That's what this is really about. I want to know who's really pushing the strings over there. Because that's what it's about. This isn't about adhering to some agreement. The people you made the agreement with are gone. I mean, they're not there anymore. What are you agreeing to? if you make a contract with somebody, I'm all for sticking to it, as long as it was a contract negotiated in good faith, which this clearly was not. But until you know what the end result of this is going to be and who you're actually delivering the goods to, you're not obligated to commit and follow this agreement. First, it wasn't negotiated in good faith. Secondly, it wasn't negotiated in the best interest of America. And if it's not in the best interest of America, then it shouldn't be. Third, the party you cut the agreement with is no longer there. So therefore, the contract is null and void. There's no stipulation that you have to pay the heirs. And certainly not with weaponry, which you have absolutely no idea what they're going to do with. And the munitions to go along with it. That is, ladies and gentlemen, is diametrically opposed to any kind of foundational principles that America has and should be exhibiting. See, we should be leading by example, not from behind. And our example should be, we got our own ducks in a row at home. And expose the world to true liberty and true freedom. Unfortunately, we're pitching them something we don't even believe in ourselves, number one. Number two, we're pitching them something we don't practice. Number three, we're pitching them something they don't want. And number four, the pitch comes with this demand that they got to take the deal. We're not giving them an option. That's not a sale. That's a coercion. What are we, a gang of thugs? You need protection from us. So we'll come and by every Wednesday and we're going to get our take, okay? It is how it works. We'll give you a shotgun in here. And anybody comes through this door but us, you shoot. But if you take out one of our guys, we're going to kill you, your whole family, even your dog. That's what this is like, ladies and gentlemen. We have descended into a nation of thuggery. Thuggery. Gangland thuggery. I'm dismayed. I'm embarrassed for our nation. I'm embarrassed that we call this a nation of the rule of law, and we are so lawless inside our own borders. How can we possibly expect the world to respect us and accept what we have to offer as liberty? Because they look at it and they say, why would I want what you got? You got to be kidding me. That's not liberty. If you went to church every day and your priest preached one thing or your minister preached something, but you found that he was a drunkard, who was a cocaine addict, who was sitting around there running around with everybody's wife in town other than his own, well, obviously, everything that comes out of his mouth on Sunday morning would be a lie, wouldn't it? Are we any different? All right, we're going to wrap with a few phone calls. Go ahead, caller. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Mike. Good morning.
Good morning.
I've wavered in this. I think the Egyptian military did us a favor, by removing that guy.
Well, they didn't really do us a favor. They did the Egyptian people a favor.
I don't mean they intended to do us a favor. That's not my point.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But we did need to get rid of that Morsi.
Well, they needed to get rid of Morsi.
Yeah.
The Egyptian people needed to get rid of him.
Well, I think the world needed to get rid of Morsi.
I won't disagree with that.
But anyway, the idea, and I've said for some time, you just trace the money. Just trace the money. You'll know why we do certain things. Another good example, I think, to even further illustrate it, is this and I don't have all the details, but a $34 million Marine Corps headquarters building built in Afghanistan that has never been used, that the Marine Corps said they didn't want prior to its being built.
Yeah, now it's going to be turned over to the Afghanis, right?
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, look, we could go on with a list of treasonous actions on the part of our government from now until midnight tonight, and we'd probably only put a dent in the list.
I think you're exactly right, but I think what you've been saying, as hard as it is for me, you don't know my history, but as hard as it is for me to accept, or has been hard for me to accept, that it's just the military-industrial complex, and trace the money, you'll see why we make these kind of decisions.
I appreciate your input. Thank you so much. Go ahead, caller. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, we just tell Egypt, we didn't renege on our promise. We just changed our mind.
Well, we don't even have to say that. All we got to say is you changed the terms of the deal because you changed who we made the deal with.
Therefore,
and until you guys get your act together, until this thing is settled down, until we know who's in control, we're not handing you weapons of mass destruction. I mean, that's it. If we're supposed to be the policeman, you know, I mean, here's my analogy. The policeman is going to the local community store, which has been taken over by a gang of thugs while they're holding the owner hostage in the back of the building. Is it the policeman's obligation to walk in there and hand them bullets to defend themselves? No, because they're not the person that he originally was there to represent and protect. They've usurped the authority. You see, the problem is that we have made this mistake of saying, and look, this has nothing to do with their politics. We don't really give a damn who wins over there as long as we win. And that's the real challenge here, and that's the real problem. They are more interested in whether or not we are influencing the powers that be over there to represent us in their government than we are in making sure that they have a true representative government. And the simple look, if we're over there, if our primary focus is to be there to make sure that America's interests are represented, then we don't belong there. It's not our country. That's imperialism. Thank you for the call. We're out of time.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you, sweetie. Folks, you can catch americasvoicenow.org on the web. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/America's Voice Now. You can also catch us on YouTube at youtube.com/America's Voice Now. You can capture this and every other show that we do, post it up to YouTube every single day, immediately after the shows close. And so we encourage you to share with your friends, to educate the people around you. You can help wake them up by sending them a link or a video link or an email. You can capture and share information on our Facebook and on our website. And you can certainly join us every day for a live show, which is streamed across our website as well. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great day.
Most of us will agree that a toothbrush and toothpaste are very low-cost items when compared to major dental repair work. We just know that it's much less painful to